Hey Facebook fam, what's going on? Just thought to break up a little bit of the monotony of, I think everybody's probably running out of recipes of things to cook. And we're doing chicken tacos tonight, so I thought I'd show you guys and walk you through just making some authentic salsa. The things that I'm going to use, you probably don't have at home unless you're Mexican, but you can use a blender for it. It'll just have a different flavor profile. So what we're going to start with, I've got this Mexican bowl. It's called a Molcajete. If you can see that. It's got a little pig on it. So this is lava rock. They make them in Mexico. It comes from Mexico. I'll share a video later that shows how they do it. It's pretty cool. They just kind of trek off with their burros and they get a bunch of lava rock and shape them into these bowls. So I've got this one here, and then I got this other one that's a little bit more coarse. I like using this one for doing like pico and stuff. You can see it's pretty coarse there. Anyway, you've also got a couple different shapes for your smasher. I like using this one just because it's more ergonomic, but I've got three different ones that I've had. So basically what we're going to do is I'm going to start off with some garlic. And so when you're making this, you can make it as spicy or as mild as you want. And one of the things that you have to remember is that all the different garlic and peppers, they have different heat things to them, right? They're all varying in spice. So there's times when I've added garlic and peppers, and I've done the same number for each one, and one of them will be just screaming hot, and the other one will be super mild. So it's kind of just a little bit of a guessing game. Hang on, let me wash my hands real quick. So one of the things that we're going to do is, the nice thing about using the Molcajete is that you're infusing all of these flavors together, right? That's one of the nice things about the bowl, is that you're smashing all these flavors into each other. You're kind of forcing them to marry, and that's one of the things I love about it. I started making this when I was probably 5, I think. Is when I first learned how to do it. And I used to get a lot of pepper seeds in my eyes because it wasn't tall enough to be up to the counter yet. So that's not a problem now. One of the things that I do now though is I always wear gloves, especially when I'm handling the peppers. You'll thank me later for that. That's kind of a pro tip. If you don't have gloves, one of the things that you can do to cut the oil from the peppers is to just use lime juice. If you're using fresh limes, just cut the lime in half. And after you've used it, to squeeze it into your salsa, or to your pico, or to your verde, or whatever it is that you're making, just rub that cut lime on your fingers before you wash your hands, and that'll cut all the oil from the peppers. And again, you'll thank me later. So what we're gonna do, get gloved up here. I'm going to take my my garlic, and I'm just going to smash it on my cutting board here, just to get rid of the paper. And I'm just going to drop it right into the Molcajete. Down to some of these bigger ones here. So basically you just take your knife, lay it flat on the cutting board, and just give it a good smash, and the paper will peel right off. It's so easy. And I just throw that in the bowl. Actually, save that one for later. We throw it into the bowl, and then we just take the beater and we just kind of get after it. And you're just gonna grind this into this stone. And the awesome thing about it is that it's gonna infuse into everything else that we put into this bowl. All right, so basically, this is what we're looking for. That garlic is completely smashed. You can see it's all infused into the bowl now, right? My molcajete is seasoned now with garlic. Now we can get to the peppers. And for this one, I'm gonna use a couple jalapenos. And then I've got some serranos also. The jalapenos are fresh right now, but my serranos and my habaneros, those are frozen. That's another pro tip. If you freeze them, they're much easier to work with. And you don't have to worry about so much of the oil getting onto your hands. So basically all we gotta do is we're just gonna cut these up. You don't have to dice them real fine because you're gonna just be putting them into the molcajete and grinding them up. But the finer that you chop them, the less grinding you gotta do. So I'm just gonna give these I just quartered this pepper. I don't know if you guys saw that. I just quartered it and then I diced it. So that's 2 quarters. I got my other 2 quarters here. So I'm just gonna dice these all up. And I put them into the bowl. And then as I'm putting these in, one at a time, I'm gonna start smashing these down. It's a lot easier to do it without getting the bowl really full. It's easier to just kind of do it with just 1 pepper at a time. That's how I like doing it. It takes less time to smash because you've got more surface area of the bowl to work with if it's not completely full. And you can smash this as fine or as coarse as you want it. Our family, we kind of like coarser salsa. So I'm not gonna really smash this down a whole ton. And I'll walk this over there again and show you guys. So basically, so that's my first one. That's the jalapeno right there. And you can see, like that's the kind of consistency I'm looking for right there. You see that okay? So basically now all of that has been smashed into that garlic, right? And that's the beauty of this bowl. So I got 1 jalapeno in there right now, and then I'm gonna take a serrano. The serranos, they're kind of like the bully cousin of the jalapeno. They're smaller, but they're a lot hotter. So I'm only gonna do a couple of these. And again, because they're smaller, I just cut them in half and then dice them up again. And then this is frozen too, and you'll see that. So the frozen, the other thing that I like about freezing the peppers is they're a lot easier to smash when you put them in the bowl. And again, you don't have to worry about the oil so much. So I'm just gonna cut these up here. Get that in the bowl. And then I'm gonna put in some habaneros also. The thing I love about the habanero is that it's hot, but it has a really nice citrusy flavor to it. And it's these little orange ones right here. They're so good. I love them anyway. And they have like a nice citrusy kind of finish to them. That sounds fancy, but that's basically what it is. That's what I love about them. So again, I'm just gonna dice these up and get them in the molcajete here. tomorrow, I think, or some other time this week, I think I'm gonna do a video that shows you how to make tortillas, either corn or flour. We may get into that tomorrow or some other day, I don't know. Probably another, I'm gonna do another video this week anyway. So now I've got the habanero and the serrano in here. And again, I'm just gonna start pulverizing this into the molcajete, and I'm infusing all of that garlic into this too. And because they're frozen, they smash right up. They smash up so good. All right, so that's basically it now for the peppers. And I think what I'm gonna do, the next thing that we'll do, I'm gonna grab some salt here because we need a little bit of salt. So I like using sea salt. It's just coarser and I like the way it tastes anyway. I like it better. And I just kind of eyeball it. I can't really tell you how much I use. I just kind of eyeball it. But maybe, that looked like it was probably about a teaspoon maybe. And then I'm gonna grind that in too. And then the other thing too is that because I've added that coarse salt, that's really helping macerate these peppers into this molcajete. So now, this is what we got now. Look how beautiful that is. You can see the orange flecks of the habanero in there. It's amazing, I love it. Okay, so now that we've got that all done, now the next thing we need to do is add the tomatoes. And I love using just the canned diced tomatoes. I was talking to my buddy yesterday and we were talking about how when you buy tomatoes in the market, they have been picked when they're not ripe, right? And so then these are canned at their full ripeness. So you get a really good tomato flavor here. I just like using this Meyer brand, these diced tomatoes, the petite ones. The petite, again, for the same thing with the peppers, like the smaller the potato chunks are, the easier it is to marry it all together in your bowl, and you're not gonna be here for 3 hours smashing, right? So let me go ahead and open one of these. And while that's going, I'm gonna add a little bit of lime juice too. The only thing that I'm missing today is, and that's probably maybe a tablespoon for this whole bowl. You don't need a ton. The only thing that I'm missing today is cilantro, which I realized when I was getting things around I didn't have any. So, but I'm not going out right now for it. If we make another trip into the store in the next couple days, I'll grab some. So basically I got my can open. I'm just gonna pour these tomatoes in. And we may add another can too, depending on how this does. But now this is where you kind of got to be careful because this bowl is getting full now. This molcajete is starting to get up to the rim. So I'm just gonna gently like get all this smashed in. And just be careful, you don't want to splash it all over the place. My 5-year-old self didn't know that, so I made a mess when I was doing this. Now basically, this is all we're gonna do. I'm just gonna keep working these tomatoes in. And the bowl's really doing most of the work. This beater is it's pretty heavy because it's just a solid piece of lava rock, right? So it does a lot of the work for me. I don't have to put in a lot of muscle into it. And I'm basically just gonna keep smashing this up until I get it to the consistency that I want. And that's the beauty of this, right? You can have it as coarse or as fine as you want. You can have it as mild or as spicy as you want. When I used to take this into the hospital all the time, all the nurses that I worked with, the first time I made this, I kind of blasted them a little bit. and they were like, hey man, we need some of that white girl salsa. So that became the running joke there. I always brought in white girl salsa. The first time I told them, I said, here's your white girl salsa right here. There you go. Just open it up, put it on whatever. But anyway, so this is basically done now. And I'm gonna put some of this into a littler bowl so I can walk it over there, because it's this molcajete is pretty full now. So that's basically it. Now I just gotta stir it up, and I'm gonna put it in another bowl. Just to kind of get everything off the sides. You need a spoon to do this, because my smasher it's not really good at getting stuff off the sides like that. And like I said, I wish I had some cilantro, because I always put that in everything. I love cilantro. All right, let me grab my there. So I got these little plastic molcajete bowls. They're pretty fancy. I love using them for salsas. And then that's basically it. That's everything. It's so simple. And like I said, if you don't have a molcajete, you can just put all this in a blender. Okay, now you can see. Whoops. Maybe I can see that now. You can see all the colors in there. It's so good. It's so delicious. So now that we got that done, the other thing that I'm gonna do, let me finish get these off, and I'll get another bowl here. All right, so here's the thing about salsa. Oh, I got a jar right here. So the thing about salsa, you put this in a plastic bowl, that's your salsa bowl for life. Because you're never, I don't care how many times you wash it, you're never gonna get that smell out. And all of my Mexican friends, you know exactly what I'm talking about. I don't know how many plastic Tupperware things that got wrecked in our house. Well, they didn't get wrecked. You just couldn't put anything else in them but salsa ever again after that. So that's why we use like butter dishes and sour cream and all that. I like putting it in glass. I save glass jars all the time. I do some canning in the wintertime. So I always just put it in glass, because I don't have to worry about it then. The flavor's not going to absorb into the glass. So I'm just going to put this in here. And we got a little bit more time. So I think what we'll do, I'm going to walk you guys through doing a verde. That's Spanish for green. So this is just going to be a green sauce. And that's the great thing. The other great thing about this molcajete too is that I'm going to spoon all this salsa out that I made and basically get this as empty as I can. There's still going to be a little bit of the salsa in there, but that's not going to be a big deal. And usually what I do now is if I'm going to do guac, which I don't have any avocados because COVID-19, I'm not going back to the store unless I got to go for something else. But if I was going to do guac, I'd do guac right now. I'd cut the avocados up, put it right in this bowl. I'd probably add another thing of garlic, which we'll do for the verde. But that's the beauty about this bowl. So here's another pro tip. Do your guac last, because this thing is going to be just smeared with avocado once we do that. So I always do the guac last. I do my salsas first. So here's my, there's the red salsa there. The salsa rojo, and then for the verde, we're gonna use tomatillos. Now I've already peeled these, but you've probably seen these in the store, and they've got like a paper on them. I've already peeled them off because I knew I was going to be using them soon, and because they have a tendency to go bad quickly if you leave the papers on, and you're not, like, if you're not going to use them in a couple of days or whatever. That paper traps all the moisture, and so they'll start to rot. So I'm going to take these tomatillos, and I'm going to slice these up, and I'm going to put it into my, I got a magic bullet here over on the counter. So I'm just going to quarter these up, because these are hard It's easier to do these with the bullet because these tomatillos, these are not green tomatoes. These are actually a member of the gooseberry family. They have a really, really dense skin to them. They're just a dense fruit, truthfully. And you can see, so they don't even really look like a tomato on the inside. They really look like a berry. You can see that. All of the seeds are on the outside where the tomato is in the middle. So these, I'm just gonna, like I said, I'm just gonna cut these up. I'm gonna throw them into my cup here, and we're gonna hit them with the magic blender, or the magic bullet, I mean. So these bigger ones, like I'll cut these. Okay, I'm back. My daughter tried to call me. So anyway, I'm gonna fill this up, and I'm gonna fill this up with tomatillos. I've already washed these tomatillos. I've already peeled the skins off of them. And I'm just gonna dice this up and fill up this, fill up my bullet here. And then for the liquid, I'm just gonna put the lime juice in right now. So put a little bit of lime juice in there, and then we're just gonna walk this over to the bullet. Just hit it a couple times so that all gets ground down. All right, now once I got that started, now I got a good liquid base in there. I'm gonna add the rest of my tomatillos and buzz those up real quick. And then we'll bring it over here. We'll come back to the molcajete, and I'll do some, well, I'll put the garlic in there. Again, I'll put some more garlic in here. And then we're just gonna dump this tomatillo mixture in there. And we'll do the peppers first, and then we'll dump the tomatillo mixture in, just like we added the tomatoes last to the salsa rojo. So basically, I'm just gonna quarter these all up again. They don't have to be as fine this time because I got a good liquid base here with the bullet. So we got that pretty full. So we're just gonna take it over to the bullet again, and we'll buzz it up real quick. All right, so traditionally verde is much more mild than the red sauce. So we're gonna put this garlic back in. We're gonna do some more garlic in here. Again, we're just gonna smash it. The paper falls right off. I'm gonna do one more. Big one here. So just give it a good smash. And you see the paper just falls right off. It's so simple. We'll get this ground in again so that we've got a good garlic base for the verde. And this is going to have a completely different flavor than the salsa does, because you're not using, it's not a tomato flavor, right? It's tomatillos. So we're just going to smash this all in. I got the garlic all added back in again. Now I'm just going to take one jalapeno, and I'm going to quarter that up again. And then I'll just dice it up fine. And we'll grind it up again in the molcajete. And again, like if you don't have a molcajete, you can do this verde. Like sometimes I've just done it in this bullet. if I'm just trying to do something quick, I'll just grind it up in the bullet real fast. So I got one jalapeno, and I'm gonna do one serrano too. Oh, the other thing too, if you don't want to use gloves, this will teach you not to touch your face. So that's a big deal right now with all this COVID-19 that's going around. Do this without wearing gloves and forget to wash your hands. You'll learn not to touch your face real fast. So again, I'm just gonna dice this up. Throw it in the molcajete here. I'll get this all smashed up again. And then we'll add the tomatillos. We already have lime juice in there because we use the lime juice to get the tomatillos going in the bullet. So we'll just get this all ground up. And again, you can do this as coarse or as fine as you want to. This bowl is so porous that it just really, like, it really does all the work for you. I don't really have to put a lot of effort into this. I'm just really just spinning this around in here and just kind of, this jalapenos, it's a little bit harder just because it's fresh and it wasn't frozen. But when they're frozen, the skin just breaks right down. It breaks down so simple. I got that about where I want. Now I'm going to put a little bit more salt in here also. That's probably, I don't know, that's probably like a quarter teaspoon maybe. And then we're gonna take our tomatillos that I've ground all up, and now we're just gonna add these to the bowl. Pour this into the molcajete here. And this color is so, I love this color. It's so vibrant and it smells so good. I wish you guys could smell this. It smells so good. And now that's basically it. We don't have to use the smasher anymore because these tomatillos are all done. They're already smashed up. They're already ground up. So it's just a matter of stirring this all up now and just mixing it all together. But that's it. My verde's done. And you can see, I'll bring it over to you again. I'll get another one of these bowls. But that's it. That's the verde, that's the salsa roll. It's super simple, but if you don't know how to do it, it's not that simple, right? So this is the verde now, and this will be more mild than the rojo, but again, you can do this however you want. You want to make it more spicy, you can make it more spicy. But that's, there you go. You can see the green color now. So that's basically what that looks like, and it's so good. It's got a really good lime. It's got a really good lime flavor to it, but then the tomatillos, they have such an interesting flavor compared to tomatoes, because they're not tomatoes. A lot of people think, oh, those are just green tomatoes. They're not. They're a completely different fruit family. Okay? So, let me check out my chicken over here. Chicken's almost done. The rice is done. We got time. I'm going to show you guys, just walk you through a really simple black bean and corn salsa. I'll get a new glove on here. Usually I'll double glove up. Sometimes I'll triple glove up. That's something I learned as a medic a long time ago. You can do double or triple gloves. And then that way, as you peel them off, you still have gloves on. If your hands get sweaty like mine do sometimes, it can be a pain to try to get the gloves on. So I don't need the molcajete anymore. I'm just gonna set this out of the way over here because we're done with that. And then basically, like the black bean and corn salsa, it's so simple. Again, I'm just gonna use the sweet corn and the black beans. This is super simple. I'm just gonna pour these into a bowl. I'm gonna add a little bit of lime juice. I'm gonna dice up some pepper and some salt, and that's it. Usually I put cilantro on everything, but I don't have any, so we already talked about that. So basically, that's all I'm gonna do. I'm just gonna cut these up, or open these up. So get that one. I'm just gonna drain this corn real quick, and then I'm gonna rinse the beans off. So I've got this drained now. Now I'm just gonna put it in my bowl. I got a stainless steel bowl here. I love using it for this. So the corn goes in. I'm gonna rinse off my beans real quick. I got this fancy can strainer thing. It works super awesome for these black beans. Basically, I'm just gonna fill this can up and then dump it out a bunch of times, and we'll call those rinsed. All right, so that's good. So we're just gonna put these in the bowl now. I got one jalapeno left here. So I'm just gonna finally dice this again. This is kind of a bigger one, so I might do this in eighths just to get the size that I want. I think let's just keep doing it in quarters. It'll be all right. So basically, I'm just gonna quarter this up, and I'm just gonna give this a really fine dice. This is gonna be finer than what I put into the salsa, just because I'm not gonna be able to grind this up. And you don't want people getting big old chunks of pepper. At least, you know, like my wife and my daughter, they're not super huge spice fans. They like spice, but not like the boys and I. So I'm just gonna finely chop this up. So that's about the size I'm looking for. I'll just get this one into the bowl now. And then we'll do this one here. And then I'm just gonna turn and do it again. Once I got this pile all chopped up. Once I get it down to the size I want. So that looks pretty good there. I don't have any big aggressive chunks, which is what I'm looking for. Now I'm not gonna put serrano in this one because the girls, they like to eat this one a lot. So I'm not gonna blow their palate out with too much spice because they don't like it so much. They're not spice girls. Again, I'm just gonna do a little bit of salt here. There's my salt. Do a little bit of lime juice. That's probably it right there. And then, all I gotta do now is just mix this up. And again, I keep hammering on this, but the cilantro, I'm missing my cilantro right now. because this will go in here as well. So that's basically it. Now, oh man, this smells so good. So that's basically it. I got everything I need now for chicken tacos tonight. The black bean and corn goes really, really good with the chicken tacos. I love it. And then I've got the verde and the rojo. And that's basically it. I'll show you here. This is basically what it's gonna look like. You can see I got, oh man, that looks gorgeous. Look at that. It's so delicious. So that's basically it. I'm gonna finish up dinner. We're gonna munch on some tacos. And I wanted to just kind of give you guys some other options for things to do while everybody's at home. Everybody's burning through all their recipes, all their mom's recipes, all their grandma's recipes, right? If you don't know how to cook, you're learning now. So that's it. That's it for tonight. I'll be back on this week and we'll walk through something else. I got a whole roaster right now of pork going that I'm gonna do some pork tacos in. And let me just kind of walk you over here to this because this looks amazing. So, let me see. Well, here, let me just flip the camera. That'll probably be easier. Oops, I can't rotate my phone. Sorry, Facebook. There it is. Can you see it? Looks good. So that's been cooking for about 2 days. Real slow, like 180. That is the best to do for that. Get that back up there. All right, so basically that's it. Welcome to my kitchen, Corey's Cocina, and I'll see you guys later in the week. We'll talk about more things to do. Thanks for watching.